Free agency is going to be massive for the Warriors this season. We need to rebuild this team to compete for a championship next year. There are 10 free agents that I think the Warriors need to target. We're going to break it down on this episode of Warriors Digest. Before we dive into it, thank you for watching. Please keep subscribing. We appreciate you watching us. If you want to support, subscribe. It helps grow the channel so other Warriors fans see these videos daily. And before we get into it, I just want to say, because the Nuggets just lost to the Timberwolves in the Western Conference semifinals, Warriors are still the last team to go back-to-back in the NBA Finals. 2017, 2018, KD, Steph, Clay, and the big boy Draymond back-to-back in 3 out of 4. Obviously, we almost went back-to-back-to-back. We didn't, but still, we hold that mantle. Let's go, and let's get into today's episode. Top 10 free agents. HoopsHype put out a list of their top free agents. It's like 100, 200 people deep. A lot of free agents. I picked out the top 10 who I think would be a great fit for the Warriors. To be able to be a great fit, what do we need? Shooting. Be able to help out Steph. We need size down below. Blocks. Rebounds. Space the floor. If we can get a 3-and-D type of player. If we can get a big man who can get rebounds, score in the paint, get out, top of the paint, pick and roll, shoot. And can we get people who are smart, able to play off the bench in our second team, not turn the ball over? With that in mind, we're going to go for that. We're going to try to make salary work. If we say we need to do a trade, we'll do that. But it's really about just the fit of the players. I want y'all to comment. Do you like the list? Do you not? Is there somebody I'm missing? Let's make this interactive. As a friendly reminder, this is what we have. Just so you know, Klay Thompson's not on this list. I'm not adding Klay Thompson. These are people who are currently not on the Warriors. But of course, if we can get them a team-friendly deal, bring them back. So right now, if we're going to make a trade, we'll try to talk about it in the salary committed. So let's act like Klay is not here. So all we're looking at is 24, 25, and Chris Paul's $30 million isn't there, so we can use that for fun. Number 1, and this probably is not going to happen. Pascal Siakam, Indiana. 6'8", 245, 30 years old, right in his prime. He won against the Warriors in 2019 with the Raptors to win the finals, won the championship. However, he's kind of tailed off since then. He hasn't been playing at his prime, though. He's done well with Indiana, but not the same heights when he was with Toronto. Two-way player, can shoot, elite size, transition very well back and forth, elusive, play defense, offense. Earnings, $37 million. Probably as a free agent, is going to stay with Indiana. So this is more unrealistic, but he'd be a great fit. You put him next to Brandon. You put him next to Steph. You have TJD down below. You have Draymond, and that's your starting 5. Wiggins comes off the bench. Or you trade Wiggins. Again, his salary may be tough. Say he's still in the $30, $40 million range. He could fit for Chris Paul. Probably not. He's going to be a bit more at 30. You think so? If Dre got 4 years, $100 million, $25 million each, maybe. But you probably have to not re-sign Chris Paul, and then Wiggins, maybe trade, or you have to get rid of Moody in the trade, and you can make the money work. So not unrealistic, but Indiana didn't trade for him to let him walk. Probably stays Indiana. 2, OG Anunoby. Small forward, Knicks. Obviously, he was doing really well for the Knicks in this playoffs. Unfortunately, he got hurt, pulled his hammy, and basically was one of the reasons why the Knicks lost that series. There's 2 hurt, weren't able to make it up. But look at his stats this season. 15 points a game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He's 6'7", 240, and only 26 years old. Not in his prime yet. So he'd be great for us to sign building up into his prime. He's a powerhouse, spot-up shooter, behind the arc, mid-range, off the dribble, good size, elite defender. Fits perfectly. If you can't get Pascal, OG. Again, put him right there. Steph, Brandon, OG, Draymond, Trace Jackson-Davis. That could be your 5. We look at his salary, $18 million. Definitely probably going up to the $25, $35 million range. Could be money there to sign him without Chris Paul. Again, maybe you have to make a trade to be able to free up some more space. However, most likely to stay with the Knicks, I would assume. But he'd be a good target. 3, surprising, Malik Monk. Yes, with Sacramento Kings, our little brothers. However, he fits the build of a Warriors player. He's an amazing shooter. He can score for himself. He should have been sixth man of the year, got hurt. They didn't give him the award. I truly think he should have got it. But he's a great spot-up shooter. He's a great create for himself. He would fit great next to Steph. Or he comes off the bench and plays as a second role. Malik is 6'3", 200 pounds, 26 years old. So again, coming right into his prime. He's a two-way guard. Probably can play a little bit harder on defense. But again, he can just shoot. He can get to the rim. He can dribble, create for himself. A very versatile player. Now, the good thing is, by being with Mike Brown, he basically knows the Warriors system, or a variation of it. So it could be a very seamless transition. My assumption is he stays with the Kings if he wants, money-wise, but also he knows the culture. However, he's talked about wanting to start and more playing time. Is he going to start with the Warriors? Does he start at the second position and you push Brandon to the bench? Probably not. I think he'd be a good fit here, but probably not going to happen. Again, please comment your thoughts. Let me know what you think about these. We're just talking about the fits on the team. Nick Claxton. I've already talked about him on another video, putting it below, so I'm not going to take a lot of time here. Nick is 6'11", 215. He'd be a great fit. The one problem with Claxton is he's not a good shooter. He's not going to be a 3-and-D. He's not going to be someone on the pick and roll with Steph who's be able to pop it. So teams will slack off him, get into the paint. But he can roll, catch it. He'll play defense, block, rebound, everything. So in that case, I think he'd be a good fit. However, the problem with Claxton, he's getting a massive payday. We're talking probably $25, $35 million range. As I said in the video, may not have enough money to get him. I think we need somebody like Robin Lopez with Milwaukee. Plays great defense, rebounds, spreads the floor, can make the three. That is what we need to be successful in this offense. Another great shooter, KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He's a player option, so potentially he won't be a free agent, but he fit the offense of the Warriors really well. 6'5", 215, 31 years old, so just kind of in that prime, maybe right at the cups of being out of it. Two-way guard, can shoot, pop and shooter, won't take the ball away from Steph. Being 6'5", great defender, kind of fills that spot of Clay. Probably come off the bench. So gonna need more height still, but is a good person to come in and give us more shooting around Steph. Isaiah Hartenstein. Before the NBA playoffs, probably never would have said this. Now, after seeing him play with the Knicks, I like him a lot. 6'11", 215, and he's only 26 years old. Get to come into his prime. And what has he done so well for the Knicks? Hustle plays, rebounds, defense, had some shooting, not the best, but really was a force inside for them against the Pacers. He's a good rebounder, we just said. Durable, down low, tough. $9 million. Probably will only get between 10 to 25 million. I mean, it's a big range, but just saying. So it could be doable. You don't have Chris Paul, have that money to spend. He could easily be coming in there. Him and TJD make a 1-2. I know a lot of people in the comments say, hey, what about Wiseman bringing back? Wasn't a good fit. What makes you think he's going to be a good fit now? I want someone who's proven who can go out there and do it, and we've seen him do in the playoffs. Jonas Valanciunas, center, New Orleans. This is your typical center. He's big. I mean, look at his size. 6'11", 265, 32 years old. So a little bit older than his prime. Someone you sign maybe a 1-2 year contract, but he fits the mold at what we need. Will block, will rebound, will set hard screens, will be in the paint, a force. However, really not the best shooter. He's definitely more of that traditional big man. He'll get exposed potentially in switches, not that fast. Earning $15 million this year, probably in the same range coming up, I would assume. So it could work without Chris Paul there. However, again, I like someone who's more of a stretch center. Buddy Hield, going back to shooting guard, I think this would be great. Another former King player. Did a little bit with Philly, didn't do a lot. Saw him towards the end of the playoffs making some shots. However, comes off the bench for the Warriors, gives up some good depth, be able to shoot the three, space the floor, can handle the ball as a point guard a little bit, but not that much. Again, he's only 31 years old, so coming right out of his prime, still in it. 6'4", 220, good size, can rain it from behind the arc. Solid player, experienced. I think he could be a good fit. Two more. Sadiq Bey, small forward with Atlanta. He's a restricted, so again, he may not actually hit the market. He's 6'7", 215, 25 years old. Great floor spacing, wing. He's only earning $4.5 million. Could get him economically moving forward. And he would be a great, again, floor spacer, help us with shooting, can play defense well, great size. He can score for himself. Probably coming off the bench. And then lastly, Moritz Wagner. He's on team option with Orlando. I don't think he's going to get free, unfortunately, but good size, can dribble as a big man, spread the floor, block, rebound, make some shots, not the way you would hope as someone around Steph being able to do a 3-and-D player per se, but gives us some good size and able to help out TJD there. So those are the top 10 I think would be good fits for the Warriors. Not all of them are the perfect crystal ball that you would want to build up, but they all can be a piece to helping rebuild this team to be successful, to take us back to the championship next year. So who did I forget? Comment your thoughts and let me know. And of course, subscribe to Warriors Digest. We have all the Warriors news, rumors, digest, free agency, and more for you daily. Deuces.